Hey everybody, it's Robin Larrabee. I am the GEG leader for South Florida. We have a really exciting broadcast today. We have Jared Johnson. He's the GEG leader from South Carolina. He is also a Google certified trainer. He's a Google certified innovator. He is the digital learning coach. He did the Google for Education coaching program pilot program called the DLP. He's amazing, and he is going to answer all of your questions about the coaching program. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. There you go, Jared.
Darren, oh, wow. That's funny. All right. Hello, everybody. And there we go, get my screen back. Oh, my screen disappeared.
I just need your screen back so that I can put it up there.
Let's see. There we go. Is it back? Yes. All right. Well, yes, like Robin said, my name is Jared Johnson, and why am I here and presenting on the Google for Education Certified Coach? It is because I have lived the program since its inception in 2017 when it was known as the Dynamic Learning Project. My school was one of 50 selected to participate in the initial program, and it has been life-changing ever since. Robin, said I was an innovator, a trainer, a GEG leader, and really I owe that all to the Dynamic Learning Project and my mentors and my PLN that grew out of that project that really motivated me and pushed me to go further in my learning and in my Googliness. You can follow my Twitter. My Twitter handle is on the screen and on the presentation at edtech_ology, and let's go ahead and get started. So you may not be familiar with the Dynamic Learning Project, or DLP. You might have seen it around, but weren't sure about what it was. Well, think of it like the original trailer to Avengers. Remember when Nick Fury said there was an idea to bring together a group of people, or remarkable people, to do something more? Well, that's kind of like the Dynamic Learning Project and what they did. It was a partnership between Google for Education, Digital Promise, and EdTech team. And so together they created this wonderful program that really revolutionized coaching for myself and for many other coaches that were part of the program. My background was I was a tech coach, or have been a tech coach now for 10 years. And when I first started out, I was more of a technician, and then I moved into more of a stand and deliver PD, like, here's an app, this is how you use it, and then see you later. And so the Dynamic Learning Project and the coaching model that came with it really revolutionized, for me personally, the way I coached, and really brought that personalization to it. And the mission for the Dynamic Learning Project was to improve educational equity by empowering teachers to leverage technology in transformative ways. And equity is the big piece. It's closing that digital divide, that secondary digital divide. Because we all live in a world in schools now where all of our kids have devices, whether they're personal devices or district purchase devices, whether it's a cart or one-to-one. So we've closed one digital divide where students have access, but the question is it equitable in what teachers are doing with the technology? And so the project, Dynamic Learning Project, was really all about leveraging technology in transformative ways, but what does that mean? Well, that means that students should be able to select relevant technology to their learning. So by themselves, they should be able to say, this is the technology tool, or what I need to do with technology to do what I need to accomplish. They should be able to collaborate, develop their collaboration skills, develop their communication skills, creativity and innovation, their critical thinking, those, the 4 C's that we're all familiar with. And then probably the biggest one and the hardest one to accomplish is developing that agency, getting the students to really take responsibility for their learning and to bring that drive, that passion of wanting to continue to learn into student learning, because apathy is a big problem, especially in education. And I'm at a middle school. I forgot to mention that, actually. I am a digital learning coach at Gilbert Middle School in Gilbert, South Carolina, which is part of Lexington School District 1. And so that's where I'm at in my career right now. With the project, so when the project was developed, we really got to learn from the best group of people around. And so Jenny Magera, she was kind of the head of it, and still it plays a really big role in it today. But we had a book study with her book, Courageous Adventures. If you haven't been able to pick that up yet, I definitely encourage you to do so. It's a great book, a lot of fantastic resources, and we're even doing a book study about that we'll get to a little bit later. But Jenny's book and Jenny herself were the driving force of the training. And then through the process, we had, some really great mentors and contacts within Google. So some of these faces you see here on the screen might be familiar to you. Heather Dowd, Dee Lanier, Rachel Swanson, all these wonderful people that you see on the screen really were instrumental in the success of the Dynamic Learning Project and what it has turned into today, which is the Google for Education coaching program. And so the challenge we face as coaches is trying to shift teacher practice, and that's hard. So if you've been in the coaching curriculum, you may have seen this graphic before, but trying to get teachers over that hump is a really big one. So we all can identify those early innovators in our schools and those early adopters. Those people are like, me, I want to try the next big thing. But then the biggest hurdle is trying to get those other ones, those ones that are over the chasm there, those early majority or late majority, and of course those laggards that try to do that. So how do we shift the teacher practice? Because again, it is hard, and I've been doing this model that I'm talking about today for 3 years, and it's still a challenge to get over this hump and to bring everybody over to the light side if you're a Star Wars fan. So how do we shift teacher practice across every classroom for every student? That's the big question. Well, how you do that is through coaching. This slide was given to us, I remember the very first day when we were all brought together at Google headquarters as part of the pilot program. And this was one of the very first slides that we saw. And it is what is coaching? And I have printed this out. I have framed it. It hangs in my office. And that is the act of helping teachers and their students tackle challenges by implementing tech-based and innovative strategies. And I've kept that, close to my heart. I look at this all the time. This is my driving force when things get tough, so remembering what coaching is. And so to answer that question, how do we move teachers? Well, it is coaching. It is that one-to-one personalized coaching. So you can see here the percentage of teachers who regularly implement new strategies and practices in the classroom. It's 99% of them is because of coaching. It is being there with them. It is meeting with them, trying to figure out what their challenges are, supporting them, whether that's co-teaching, data collection, or just celebrating their wins and their failures. All of that helps encourage teachers to really take on those transformative methods and really to push them to be innovators. So when I first started, it was all about practice. Here's an app. Here's how to do it. Okay, everybody got that? It's like, good. All right, you know how to use it? All right, goodbye. Have a great day. And that's changed so much. And really, in the last 3 years, I can tell you this works. This really does work. I have seen it from where, I was used as a, hey, my printer is broken. Hey, my projector's broken. Or, hey, can you show me that new app? How does that work? To, Jared, I need you. I have this problem. I have this challenge. I need you in my classroom. Can you help me? And seeing that growth over the last 3 years has been fantastic. And so the DLP has now given away to Google for Education's coaching curriculum. It is a challenge-based coaching model. It is more of a DIY kind of service. So, you are the one interested in, improving your coaching skills. So you're going to do the curriculum. You're going to do everything that you need to do, and then get certified at the end. I was lucky enough to participate in the project and had more of a support. But the good news is there are a lot of people out there that can support you with it. But again, it's a challenge-based coaching model. It is ISTE aligned. So that is a big deal, that it is ISTE aligned, seal of alignment for ISTE. So if you're a big ISTE fan like me, that badge, that seal of approval is going to be very, very important. So it does align to ISTE. So let's talk about the coaching model. So the coaching model, if you haven't seen it yet, is a circle. So it's a cycle. It's a circle. And so you start off with helping the teacher identify and understanding their challenge. And they could have lots of challenges. And a lot of teachers may come to you with a lot of challenges, and some may come to you without knowing what their challenge might be. But you're going to meet with them. You're going to discuss it with them. You're going to investigate. You're going to select a strategy that could work, and don't be afraid if those strategies don't work, and tell the teacher, don't be afraid if those strategies don't work. I can tell you in a coaching cycle, I've done up to at least 5 different strategies, and sometimes they're successful by the end of the cycle. Sometimes they're not, but that's all part of coaching. The teacher's still willing to take risks to this day, and I count that as a success. So what it looks like here, and some ways to kind of work through this, and the coaching curriculum does have that, and we will link that in the chat for you if you haven't been to the Teacher Center recently to take a look at the curriculum. But to help teachers identify that challenge, is one of the ways I have found is the Gripe Jam protocol. That has been a great resource. It's found in Jenny's book on how to do that. But that's a great way to get those conversations started with teachers on what their challenges could be, to get them to think really about what challenges they want to focus. Then investigating possible strategies. So during the Dynamic Learning Project, the mentor coaches and EdTech team developed this fantastic strategy menu. So you can really dig deep into what kind of strategies might help with the challenges those teachers might have. Then you discuss with the teacher, what that personalized strategy might be. And again, don't be afraid if that doesn't work the first time. And then implementing that, and then reflecting upon it at the end. And this is what they call the Meet, Visit, Meet Cadence. Oh, forgot I put that graphic in there. This graphic was done by Rachel Swanson, who was one of our mentor coaches during the project. And so this is I need a shorter link. I didn't create a shorter link. Sorry, Becky. I'm seeing the chat. But we'll get that for you. But this was a really neat graphic that was created by Rachel on what innovation across that curve looks like. But the Meet, Visit, Meet Cadence. So this is the most important part of the cycle, and this was one of the biggest challenges to me, and I apologize for my kids screaming in the background. Pleasures of working at home. But the Meet, Visit, Cadence. So you got to repeat this a lot through the cycle. So when you're thinking of a cycle with a teacher, your cycles can last anywhere between 4 and 8 weeks, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. But I have tried in the past and found success with trying to block them off within a 9-week grading period. If you're in the United States, it's like a 9-week grading period. And you want to build in time at the beginning, at the end to prep and to debrief and analyze the results of that meet. So around 5 to 7 weeks. But it's really meeting with that teacher, setting that goal, doing those classroom visits. And those classroom visits can just be data collection, seeing what the students are doing for the teacher while she's teaching. You can then also co-teach. I love co-teaching. So you can do that kind of stuff, or you can teach the lesson and the teacher observes and watches the kids and see what they're doing. And then you want to follow up right after that. So, as a coach, calendar is going to be your best friend, and trying to figure out where and when and all the puzzle pieces that get put together for this. But that Meet, Visit, Meet Cadence is probably, to me personally, the most important part of this coaching model. Because if you fail in this part of it, your coaching cycle is going to fall apart. And believe me, I've lived that model. where I have slacked off or the teacher has slacked off, and then the cycle kind of falls apart because that meet cadence wasn't honored. So the best way to do it is to stay organized. How do you stay organized? Well, you can do it through Google Drive, and the coaching curriculum shows you a couple different ways of staying organized. So in the past, when we first started out, Google Drive, I had a Google Drive folders with each teacher's name on it and the cycle that they were in. And then I kept documentation of when we met, what the challenge was, the strategies that we tried, and any data that was collected into it. Later on in the pilot, we did have a hub or a coaching platform or app where you can where we can log things like that. That doesn't exist anymore, but there is a free one out there, and I believe her name is Suzanne Summers, who has created connecthub.io. It's currently free, but this is a great tool to use as a way for an app to be able to collect and organize your coaching documents. And then data collection. So data collection is going to be very important, and the curriculum talks to you about how to create your own DIY data collection. When I was part of the program, Digital Promise did a lot of that data collection, but now, you know, just like everybody else, I'm going to have to do it on my own. So the best way to do that is doing some long forms or short forms using Google Forms. And you can do them in the before the cycle starts. You can do it in the middle or at the end, or all three of them. Definitely the beginning and the end is the big ones. But you're going to need that data collection. You're going to need that data collection for when you submit your application to the program. But also, it's good to prove to, you know, the higher ups in your school or your district that this model is working, and where you experience some challenges and where the successes are. So really, that data piece is very important with it. Now, the question, thank you, Amanda, for putting those bit.lys in. I appreciate that. The question is, how do you get teachers excited? How do you get teachers excited about the program? Well, couple of things. So when we first started out, we did whole school activities. So we made a promo video about the way coaching was going to change, and we had music, and we did all this great exciting stuff. As you can see, we decorated our little theater. We also did whole group icebreakers where we had all the faculty in the cafeteria, and we went through all these different icebreaker activities, again, to bring that excitement, to bring on that collaboration with the teachers. And then we also did a whole school gripe jam, which was very important to get teachers to start thinking about that process. You know, right before the school year starts, what are going to be their biggest challenges? And right now in the pandemic that we're in, there are going to be a lot of challenges. My teachers have already come to me with some challenges that I'm still trying to think through myself. So this is going to be an interesting year for that kind of stuff. Another couple ways to get people excited are launch parties. I loved having launch parties, and I actually learned this from Google and from another coach in the district, where ice cream, pancakes, food, whatever it might be, are great ways to kick off a cycle and to end a cycle. So you send out an invite to your teachers. You get, you know, the number of teachers that you want, which, you know, usually I max out about 8. That's about all I can handle in a normal year. We'll see what this upcoming school year will be. But having those launch parties. So come to my room. Let's have some ice cream. Let's have, you know, some pancakes. Let's chat. Let's talk. Let's have some camaraderie before the cycle begins. And then at the end of cycles, again, it's the same thing. You know, you want to celebrate, and at the end of the cycles is where you really want to celebrate teacher successes. And so I have created badges that I gave out and put on teachers' doors for things that they were able to accomplish during their coaching cycle. So maybe that's using HyperDocs for high impact learning, or doing the SAMR model and trying to get them from substitution to augmentation. And that might be just using Google Slides instead of paper. Or those teachers that are really the high flyers, those innovators, and getting them to really redefine what they're doing in their classroom. So teachers love badges. I love badges. And so you can decorate their doors with them. It's a great way to show their success to everybody else in the building, because I will tell you, the teacher across the hall is going to be like, what's that? What's that mean? Why does she have that? How can I get that? Oh, you can get that by joining me on the next coaching cycle. But you could also do, like I said, you can do treats, sweet treats during, at beginning, middle, and end. I love doing treats for teachers. I've also gotten companies to contribute time and money to my coaching cycle. So I've done 15-minute chair massages from a local chiropractor's office that has come in for those teachers that have completed cycles with me. I've done gift cards to the car wash or to local restaurants. So that's a really great way to kind of get your the businesses in your community to help contribute, because as coaches, we don't make a lot of money. Sometimes school budgets can't afford to give us money. So use your resources out in your community to try to get those little gifts and things for teachers to really celebrate what they do and what they can accomplish. Twitter is a great way. Our district believes in using Twitter to tell our story. So Twitter has been a big tool for me in celebrating teacher successes. So I'll go in the classroom, I'll take pictures of what the teacher is doing, what the students are doing, and put that out there. If you search the hashtag DLP coaching, you can see all the coaches that have participated in the DLP program and all the cool things that they have done out there. All right, so the biggest question I've gotten from people is, how do you get your administration support? Or what are some best ways to get your administrators on board? I was lucky, and part of the program was our administrators were with us. So they lived the institutes with us. They were trained along with us. They also had their own special trainings. But now with the program, the way it's designed now, it's more DIY. So you're going to have those conversations with your principal about being utilized maybe in a different way, or changing the way you have been utilized, and really scheduling intentional meetings with your principal. And in fact, I have a special guest with me today. I hope he's still on here. There, he's coming in. This is my principal, Dr. Benji Reichard, and he was part of the program. I wasn't at his school when we began the program, but I'm at his school now. But Benji, what has the challenge-based coaching model meant for you and your building?
Well, I'll tell you, the first and foremost, the DLP had a great plan for rolling out the pilot by including administrators, the principal, along with their coach. You know, I already had a good relationship with my coach, but spending that time together, learning alongside each other, you were there, and so I knew you too. But that was a great plan, and it really just set the stage for the beginnings of changing the culture in our school. We had always utilized our coach, knew that our coach was valuable, but really now having a plan, and the DLP really providing a coach for the coach helped guide us. And they had so many wonderful resources and ideas. And it really just started, as I said, started transforming that culture in our building to one of, yeah, we have a coach, and sometimes they fix my printer, and sometimes they can help me with applications, to I need my coach to help me fix this challenge or solve this challenge. And we really very quickly started using that phrase, the culture of coaching. And we still talk about a culture of coaching at our school. And I got to brag on you guys. I'm reading the comments, so this. We're proud to have Jared. I had a wonderful DLC, excuse me, when we started this program, and she relocated. We were sad to see her go. So I wouldn't say that we went after Jared, but it was certainly definitely worked well for us when we had the opportunity to bring Jared on. Everything that you're hearing of him is true. He does some wonderful work in our building.
Yeah, and yeah, building that culture is definitely, I know I wasn't at your school when it first started, but I know at the school I was at, which is in the same district, building that culture was a little bit of an uphill battle, because we were we had to change the way we coached, because at the time we were known as technology integration specialists. So that kind of encompassed, like you said, fixing printers. And one of those things is, like, as excited as you are with the model and you want to be like, yes, let's go and solve these challenges, you got to build the relationships first. And even though I was in that building a couple of years ahead of the model, I still had to go back in and build those relationships and build that trust. So if that meant fixing a printer, fixing a projector, that was what I would do to start those conversations, to say, hey, would you be interested in trying something new? And so that was a big piece of it.
Yeah, Jared, I think it was really important too for me as an administrator to make sure that our faculty knew that I recognized the importance of coaching and coaching cycles and what that DLC could contribute to the classroom and to the student experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so, really, we started using we started using our coach as part of our leadership team. I mean, so when we have our weekly meetings, and we might not necessarily talking about technology, but it's still instruction and what's going on in our building. I value your opinion just as I value the opinion of our other. And I think, again, that sends that message to our teachers that, one, we're working as a team, and that we're all here for the same purpose, and that's to support them and their work with their students.
And the DLP kind of really changed that. I know for me and the principal I had at the time when we began this really kind of bonded that relationship. So it really, the principal that when we first started, he was kind of new to the building, so we really didn't. We had a relationship, but we didn't really bond. And so the DLP really, between our conversations as a coach and as a principal, really helped get those conversations, that bond, that trust going with administration. And like Benji said, we were all there together, so it was kind of neat because all the principals got to know all the coaches. Mm-hmm. And so that was a neat experience too, to show that, hey, we're all in this together.
It's really good, for us to be able to go in when we're conducting observations, just those walkthroughs, we see a challenge, we have a conversation with a teacher, and we can make a suggestion of, you might want to consider, or can we put you in touch with Jared, or get the two of you together. That's because our Jared and the previous DLC built such good relationships. The teachers don't necessarily see that as a threatening kind of thing. It's just like, oh, okay, sure. And so really it's been, because they see that we have this good relationship, it's very easy for us to, if we see a teacher having a challenge, to have a conversation and then encourage, suggest working through a coaching cycle. And then we, of course, see the results.
Mm-hmm. And that's right. Dr. Jackson said technology integration includes the seamless blending of content and technology. And that's very true. And I know one of the blessings we have in our school district is that, not only do we have digital learning coaches in our secondary schools, but we also have content coaches or, instructional coaches too. So it's great to be able to work with the instructional coach at my school and together, and with our administration team, be able to kind of blend things together. Because as a coach, I taught social studies, so I don't know algebra. I really don't know the mechanics of, ELA. And so, having an instructional coach alongside with you can really help blend all that together, the pedagogy, the curriculum, the technology, and it can be really beautiful.
Yeah,
coaching team.
Yeah, I'll agree with you, Jared. That's been one of the really nice pieces of this that I didn't anticipate, is that it really brought our digital coach close to our instructional coach, and working as a team, helping each other out. And that was kind of a nice, I didn't see that one coming. And it's been really, really nice. And again, that all works for the betterment of our school.
It does. And, everybody's school district should have that. If you don't, try to have it.
And again, as an administrator, I think that, and I know most people do this, but if administrators aren't working closely with their coaches, they're missing out on a great opportunity. Again, having that relationship, being able to for the teachers to be able to see that is really, really important, because they understand that as the administration sees this as important, and that helps.
It does. And would you say that's kind of the case across the district for the most part? The principals and their coaches really do have a great relationship and really work together for the benefit of their schools.
That's exactly right. You know, so the four of us, the four schools, were in that first group. Um, I mean, we're all tight, but this group of four schools that originally started it, very tight. And,
Mhm.
you know, it is definitely, you can tell who's been through it.
I know it was one of those things we all kind of shed a tear when they announced the end of the dynamic learning project.
Absolutely.
As great as the certified coach program is going to be or is currently, it was like one of those things where you're like, oh, but you have the relationships, and that's the good part. Like you said, the bond between the four original schools, especially, and then the bonds as coaches that we were able to have with other coaches across the states has been a fantastic resource too.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I've been doing this a long time, and of all the things that I've seen come and go in education, this is the one that has probably had the more lasting impact on me as an administrator, as a teacher. And you're right. You know, I just started thinking about that. You know, I know coaches from other schools and other districts through this program. I'm following on Twitter. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's all up coming out of this. So you know, and you mentioned we were all sad when we knew that DLP was going away. My first question to you was, so what happens next?
Yeah, what happens next? What's going to go on?
Mhm.
But everything that we've learned and will continue to do is the impact is there, and it will continue.
Absolutely.
I know one of the funny things this morning, side story for everybody, we as a district are doing professional learning for our teachers as we gear up for the coming school year. And so one of the teachers at Gilbert Middle started nicely singing my praises in the chat. And one of the teachers said, "Oh, you and your coach must have a really great relationship. That's so great. You must have known him for a long time." And she goes, "No, he's new to the building."
Yeah.
And so that to me was, that meant a lot, that, because I was brought, short story of, I was brought on in February. So, and then in March we were in, distance learning because of the pandemic. So it was kind of a quick try to get to know everybody as fast as I can. But I had good foundations because I worked really well with Benji's previous coach that was there. She and I, because again, the four of us that were part of the original program really did bond, and we did a lot of things together. So we were helping each other at each other's schools, and so that really kind of helped teachers really see the value in the way the coaches interacted with each other across buildings.
Absolutely.
That was great. Georgina says, Dr. Reichert, if you could give a piece of advice to upcoming instructional Google EC coaches, what would you advise them?
Well, again, I think go back and build that relationship. Don't take no for an answer. Your principal and your administrators really need to be on board with this. You're going to need their support. They need to know what you're doing. I mean, you can't do this in isolation. So if I were a coach getting ready to take on this challenge, I'm going to make sure my principal is aware. My principal knows what it's about and knows what the outcome will be. I mean, that's what, for me, why would I want to know this? Well, because it's going to help our students. So, again, make sure your principal is aware of what's going on and what your plans are and what you're going to need from them.
Bonnie wants to know if she can go work at our school.
Absolutely. We're always looking.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is Gilbert Middle School in Gilbert, America, South Carolina.
Yeah, it's very special. And again, I can't say enough good things about what this program has done. And the lasting effects that it's had on our student experience, but just on that overall culture. When Jennifer, our previous DLC, left in October, our teachers could not wait. When are we going to have a new one? When are we going to have a new one? When are we going to have a new DLC? And then, of course, when they found out it was going to be Jared, it was, I think he was getting emails and phone calls probably before he actually officially started at our school. They were already asking for his help. So, yeah.
That's right. A relationship is the key.
The teachers are seeking coaching. They want it.
Yeah, and again, that's all part of the original pilot program and the impact that challenge-based coaching can have on a school is like the teachers are hungry for. They've seen what it can do and report. And in fact, that really segues really well into what the data says, because Digital Promise had been collecting the data for the pilot program for a number of years, or for the 3 years. And so they put together an instructional coaching playbook and a year 2 report from the Dynamic Learning Project. So if you go to their website, and in fact, we'll link it here in the comments, but really these are some great resources to take a look at what the project did in the beginning of what teachers reported, the impact that they had in schools. Because I know just with our schools in our district, if you look, over 91% of DLP teachers reported that they were receiving support from their coach, and that you can see that, where they feel coaching has helped them engage with students. So you can see the breakdown there. And so, for us, it was fantastic to see that teachers were really seeing the benefit of it, and that students were really building those collaboration skills, communication skills, trying to be innovative in new and exciting ways, in that critical thinking and agency. And in this day and age where we're heading into a hybrid or virtual or whatever it might be, if it wasn't for that pilot program in the beginning and that type of coaching, I really do feel like our students are better equipped to be able to handle their collaboration and their communication digitally, and then also being innovative. What would you say, Dr. Riker?
I agree. Our teachers, the experience they've already had, the student experience, I definitely believe that it sets them up for a greater opportunity for success in this environment that we're going into now. So yeah, I couldn't agree more with you there.
And the cool thing I like too is this, when you're in a classroom. So as a coach, when you leave the classroom to become a coach, you lose that interaction you have with students every day. And then being a coach kind of gives it back to you in a way. And so it's kind of neat when you're a guest. When you're a coach, you're a guest in a classroom. But it's really cool when you're working on cycle with a teacher and you're building relationships with those kids. And when you're off cycle or even during a cycle, they will seek you out and say, "Look, Mr. Johnson, look what we did, or look what I created." And that's just powerful to me.
Well, so I'm going to brag on Jared just a little bit here too. Now, part of the reason why they seek him out to show the things that he's done, Jared also takes a very big role in our school and seeks out ways to be involved with students, from running our news show to creating this weekly celebration of things that have happened. So he really goes. I mean, yes, he's working with teachers and coaching teachers, but he's looking for ways to interact with those students, and they know what he does. And so, I mean, that's important too. So yeah, little kudos to Jared there.
Well, thank you, boss. I appreciate it.
Yeah, give me a corner office.
That's with a window. Can I get a corner office with a window?
Yep.
Inside joke, I don't have an office space yet. So the school is growing. We're in a growing community, which is fantastic. Gilbert is a fantastic community, and it's growing. And because of that, we don't have enough classrooms and office spaces. So I'm homeless at the moment.
Yeah, that's we're pretty packed.
Which is not a bad problem to have. I can work anywhere. I can coach from anywhere. So that's one of the good things. Well, Dr. Reichert, I appreciate you joining and your time.
Absolutely, anytime. And again, I just thanks to Google for everything they've done, Digital Promise, EdTech team, everybody with the DLP project from the very beginning. Again, it's been great for our school, and really has changed things. So appreciate the opportunity to come and say how much I appreciate it, and how much I appreciate what you're doing, Jared. Thank you for this.
And then what's your Twitter handle, real quick, so people can give you a follow?
Okay, it's my last name, RIC. It's at RICARDBD at Reichert BD.
All right. Well, good. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
All right, so we'll try to keep an eye on the time here. Let me. So, trying to operate things on 2 screens. That's a challenge. All right. So in 2017, so the project started out with 50 schools in 5 regions, 50 principals, 50 coaches that affected, 31,000 students and 2,250 teachers. But now that the program, the Dynamic Learning Project, has given birth, you can say, to the Google for Education Certified Coaching Program, that the future is going to be big. So those of you that are interested in this program, definitely seek it out. If you are a coach, this is some great PD to learn about it. Challenge-based coaching, ways that you can implement that in the classroom, and really, we can affect the world and close that digital divide and have students using technology in impactful ways. So the Google Certified Coach Program, if you haven't checked it out, it's in the Teacher Center, and I believe the link has been put out there, but there are 5 steps to becoming a certified coach. So number 1, I just want to start out with, it's a journey, not a race. People that we communicated with are like, well, how soon do I need to have this completed? And what can I do? I want to be certified right away. It's a journey. It really is a journey. It's, take it at a leisurely pace. Because number 1, you want to complete the coaching curriculum. You want to take your time with it. You want to understand it. I'm 3 years into this, and I'm still learning. I'm still going back and reviewing things. So you want to take your time with the curriculum, because you want to do it with fidelity. You want to really implement this with your teachers and your school the best way that you can. Once you have done that, then there is a skills assessment that you will need to complete, and followed by, making sure you have your level 1 and level 2 Google certification. That's always important. If you haven't gotten that, a plug for the Global GEG, go back to their boot camps and watch those videos. But then you create a coaching portfolio, and then you submit an application that will be reviewed by the coaching team, and they will either provide you feedback or award you with the badge. Now, the portfolio, so what you want to do is really, I'm talking to Amanda, who's in the chat, who's part of the coaching program, is you want to take your time with it. And really, if you're going to start, let's say, the first day of school, you might wrap up your coaching cycles and your data collection and all that kind of stuff maybe by winter break or mid-January, and then submit the application. You want to try to get at least 2 coaching cycles in with teachers to really, make sure you're doing the model really well before you go and you submit that application. So take your time with it. Take your time with it. It's not a race. It's not a race. And then let's see. I see a question. How do regular classroom teachers balance their role with being a tech coach as well? So that's a hard one. So if you are teaching and coaching at the same time, that is going to be a big challenge. And so that, especially in whatever environment you're coming back to school with. So I'm not sure it's a challenge, but definitely, if you need think partners, I'm going to show you where you can find some think partners on that. And that is, so part of the original coaching program, so we have DLP coaches out there who are now Google certified coaches. So if you're having challenges as a coach and as a teacher that you really need help with, seek out that support. Don't be afraid to seek out that support. There are over 100 Google certified coaches that were part of the Dynamic Learning Project. So build your PLN, reach out to them. Best ways to do that is to reach out on Twitter. If you search the hashtag DLP coaching, that will show you a lot of the coaches that were part of the original pilot project, and you can reach out to them as well. And then let's bring on Becky to talk about another way to build your PLN through Google, or the global GAG, GEG, open chat. Welcome, Becky. How are you? Oh, I think you're muted.
Oh, that would definitely help. Hello. Thank you so much for having me having me join you. I'm actually really excited about this. So do you want me to just jump in or?
Yeah, jump in. Let's talk about the Google EC Open Chat that we got going on and the cool book study.
Exactly. Yeah. So we actually, after Google for Education announced this coaching certificate that you could earn, Georgina Dean, who is in the chat. Hey, Georgina. She and I were chatting on Twitter and quickly realized there was a need for building a community of coaches and educators that could come together and go through the application process together. I've been a coach in my district for the past 3 years. And although I have the other coaches in my district to collaborate with, this is a new way of coaching for me. And I wanted to work with like-minded coaches and educators to learn from them and go through the process because like Jared said, it's not just apply, hopefully you get it. If not, so be it type of thing. Like it really is a process and an application. So we have an open chat.
And it could be very life-changing. I'll just say that. It could be very life-changing depending on your situation.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to showing this to my district, this video later once it's no longer live, because there's a lot of great things that the program can bring to your school and your district. I'm currently going through the curriculum and working with the other educators in the open chat that are going through the curriculum. And basically we meet once a month, the third Saturday of every month at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So convert that to whatever time you're in. And you can join by signing up. The link is below to sign up, and we can also get that in the chat for you. And we have an open Google chat where people can go in and pose questions, challenges, all of that, and support each other as we go through the process. And then there's a shared drive where we're keeping a ton of different resources. And then we also have, like I said, the wonderful Georgina is hosting a book study on Jenny's book, Courageous Adventure. So if you join the open chat, you can get access to also join the book study. So all of that's coming together. Behind the scenes, we also have Bonnie. She's helping with organization because the group started, like I said, with just a small Twitter chat. And then next thing I knew, over 150 people were signing up for this. So there's definitely a need for this coaching community. And so Bonnie's helping in the background, and Vicky's also helping, and she's got a Wakelet going that we can put information in there as well. So there's a team of us that are either like Jared and Georgina who have gone through the curriculum, or like myself, I'm going through it with everybody. But it's fun. It's very relaxed, laid back. Yeah.
And the other thing is too, I'll make a plug as well. There are coaching partners as part of the Google Certified Coach program, and so I was lucky enough we had EdTech team and mentor coaches through that. But there are other companies out there that are offering coaching services as well. So if you feel like you need that extra support and your district's got some money or your school's got some money to spend, definitely look into that, because they can help keep you honest and keep you on time and kind of be that on-call person for you as well.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that. Really, when it comes to coaching, I feel like it is a community effort. You can't take it on by yourself. You need others around you to support, whether it's just your site and your admin or a group of coaches. And I've learned so much in the short time that we've already been together. So I'm looking forward to continue learning more. And you can jump in and join the group regardless of the part of the application that you're in. So if you haven't opened it yet, that's fine. If you're already done with it, you've taken the test, awesome.
And it's good to have that PLN, that extra support, because especially when school starts and we're living and breathing our own little worlds. It's good to reach out and get that support when you really feel bogged down or need that help. Having that PLN through the open chat or through Twitter, anything like that. I can't say enough about having a support team around you.
Yes, and a support team who understands this coaching world, because it's different and in some cases new.
It is, yeah. And then everybody's challenges are a little bit different. And sometimes, with me, I got, other people in my department. And so, as coaches, we're all kind of living and breathing kind of the same air. And so when you're like, oh God, I don't understand. I have a challenge. And then you can reach out to any of us or anybody out there to part of the coaching program and say, hey, what do you think about this? How can I have a teacher who just will not get on board, Becky. What can I do? You have the laggers, but she's like way behind the lagger.
Yes. Yeah. And it is global, which is super cool, because we're not just learning about, or we're not learning with each other, just everybody in the United States. This is global. We have a lot of people in the UK who right now they're like, coaching's not even a role. We had a one member join from Sri Lanka, join our book study this last week, it's amazing just to get all these different perspectives. We learn so much more from each other when we open that door and we open that line of communication. So I'm loving how the chat started so organically and how it's grown so quickly, and that there's an opportunity for this.
It is. It's a fantastic program. So thank you to Google for, developing it to a point where now it's a certified coaching program. It's ISTE certified, and it's out there for anybody and everybody to really have that impact in their schools, with their community, all of it.
Yeah. And sorry, I talk so fast, but I am seriously so excited about this. Like, my excitement when this was announced, this coaching certificate went like through the roof. I was like, where's the website? Where do I go? I want more. And so I just get really excited with all of this.
I feel like I talk really fast, but again, it's excitement and nerves.
No, you have that calm, cool voice. Mine is like, my excitement is going to explode if I don't get it all out in the next 2 seconds. So thank you for inviting me on today, Jared, and sharing the open chat with everybody, because it really is an open community. So feel free to sign up. And if you sign up and later decide, that this isn't my time based on just your needs, your school needs, you can walk away, come back anytime. We're an open group.
And also, we want to thank Amanda from Google. She's been a fantastic, support with this chat and for the program. So we definitely want to give a shout out. Oh, there she is. Hi, Amanda. Oh,
you're on mute like me.
Oh, but did you like my arms pumping while I was on mute? I said, surprise. You guys are so welcome. And hi, everyone. Like Jared said, I'm Amanda. I lead the coaching program on Google for Education. And I'm just so excited. Thank you for all of this. I love seeing this PLN. You guys have totally made my day.
We couldn't have done it without you. Like, really.
Well, we're not going anywhere. So I know it's crazy times, but I'm so glad that this feels like a helpful resource for all of you, as that was certainly our intention, like Jared said, just to build upon our really incredible a momentum from the DLP and launch this, as I called it, official certified coach program. And we, like May has emphasized also in the chat, are just like really here to help you guys. So if you need anything and you stump Becky and Jared, I am also here, and I threw in our program email address as well, just in case you need to find us.
And that's kind of the cool thing about it. One would have never thought when I started this 3 years ago that I'd be talking to anybody from Google.
Right?
Like, or know Jenny, that's the other thing. Like, everybody knows Jenny, but it's like, I know Jenny. And so, it's just neat, just what the PLN that we've built from it and will continue to build from it, what it can do for people.
Awesome. Well, I feel like that about you guys. When we launched the this version of the program, so the certified coach program on June 23rd, I literally sat there and was like, okay, the website's live. Is anyone visiting? Are they excited? So you guys are our heroes, and I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Do we have any questions in the chat? We can take a couple questions before we end? Anything related to the program or the chat or just coaching in general? Oh, we have somebody from Bolivia. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Thank you for joining us. See, I love the global stuff. This is cool.
I do too. There is a little bit of a delay, so there may be questions that people are typing, but there can be a delay.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I can buy us some time. The only, Jared, when you were talking about the curriculum, the only thing I was going to add is that based on actually the feedback that we got from the coaches that we've worked with to date, the curriculum is designed to kind of follow you in your coaching journey throughout the school year. So there are a number of modules for those of you who are just getting started with this that would be great to complete before your school year begins, no matter what form your school year is taking. And then that should kind of build. So the modules that you'll find kind of like in the middle of the curriculum are designed to really reflect the mindset that you as a coach would also be in towards the middle of the year. And then that will carry through the end. So keep us honest if you have any feedback about that approach. But we really tried to design it to be this companion resource to you, if you will, as you go through the dynamic, see what I did there, nature of the curriculum.
And I completely skipped over the part about how do you keep up with your coaching certification? Oh,
yes. Okay. So are you asking me, Jared? Do you want me to answer?
Yeah.
Was that like a tee up for me to answer? Okay, got it.
That was.
I'm catching the ball. I'm now answering.
Tee up. I missed it. I threw the ball.
I got it. No, I got you. Yes. So after you officially become a certified coach, so after you've done the curriculum, you've applied, you get a wonderful email from me that says, hello, welcome to the family. I will give you more excited hands. And I really do that a lot. Then what we're asking is for coaches to maintain, if you will, their certification by coaching at least 100 hours in the following school year. So if you're a full-time coach like Becky or Jared, you're doing way more than 100 hours of coaching per school year. But we also recognize that a lot of folks may not have all of their time to do this. And while that would be lovely, we do want to make sure that those wonderful educators who are making an effort to do coaching on a more part-time basis can also be a part of this. And so really that 100 hours is intended to reflect that a coach, as we define it, is spending the majority of their time engaged in coaching activities, but may also be doing other things in your school, for example, teaching a couple of periods in the school day.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a question earlier around just defining the main difference between trainer and coach. And I know that's a question.
About to go there. You're reading my mind, Becky.
I am, yeah.
Go ahead.
Sure, I can take a stab, and then we have trainers and coaches on the call. So I would love for you guys to take a shot at this too. And May was answering some things in the chat. So May is my counterpart for the trainer program. We have thought a lot about this. So I would say starting with the trainer program, I think a bunch of you are, even in the chat, are trainers as well. That program is primarily designed to help educators deliver really, really amazing group-oriented professional development. And typically that is focused on specific Google tools or products and things of that nature. And most often the educators that we see doing that do have a number of responsibilities in addition to when they're delivering that actual group PD. Whereas with the coaching program, what we're really hoping to do is support those educators who, again, have the majority of their school day, whether that be virtual, in person, or some combination thereof, working one-on-one with fellow adult learners in their building, so fellow teachers, to help them solve a specific classroom challenge like Jared talked about. Really, the way we get teacher buy-in and coaching is by thinking about what teachers actually need help with a technology-based strategy. So if I had to then boil it down, I would say trainer more oriented towards that group-oriented type professional development, trainer more one-on-one. But that said, we know there are a whole bunch of trainers who are also coaches. So it is definitely okay, in fact, encouraged for those trainers who want to be able to do both show both great professional development in group settings as well as one-on-one settings to have both badges. We are totally cool with that.
And coaching too, just from my experience, will lead into a lot of PD. So you might have a teacher that, in order to accomplish a challenge, might need to know how to use Google Classroom. And so you can do a PD around that, and that'll bring in, other people that are curious. And so that's how I was able to log my trainer hours. It's like, okay, well, I grabbed a small group of people and I showed them how to, do something in Docs or Classroom or whatever it might be. And that was how I was locking my time.
Mm-hmm. And just as a trainer for me, although yes, I customize the trainings, there are times where we need you to come in and teach this tool. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going in, I'm doing that one time, I'm going to teach this, where if I'm coaching, I'm doing that follow-up. It's never a one and done. Trainings sometimes are a one and done. Coaching, unless I'm mistaken, it's not possible to be a one and done. If it's a one and done type of session, then that's a training.
Yes.
Exactly.
Even if it's two, like if a part A and a part B, that's still a training. Coaching, you're solving a problem together, and about 6 to 8 weeks.
Absolutely.
Well, good. Well, we've reached that hour mark. So, what is Georgina saying here? Let's show these superstars some googly appreciation. I love it. Georgina is awesome.
This is why we love you, Georgina.
That's right. And the hearts, too. God, she's an emoji genius.
I know.
Well, good. Well, thank you, everybody. If you're not in our open chat, definitely join it. And if you need any help, reach out to Amanda or through the email, or myself or Becky. We're all here to help. And any of those other great people that are already certified coaches through the Dynamic Learning Project, don't hesitate to reach out to any of them as well. We're all here to build our PLNs and support each other. That's what it's all about.
Thanks, everyone.
Yes, thank you so much.
Have a great night, everybody.